The Ottoman Empire was one of the mightiest and longest-lasting dynasties in world history. This Islamic crown superpower ruled large areas of the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and North Africa for more than 600 years. The chief leader, known as the Sultan, was given absolute religious and political authority over his people. While Western Europeans generally viewed them as a threat, many historians regard the Ottoman Empire as a source of great regional stability and security, as well as important achievements in the arts, science, religion, and culture. Osman I, a leader of the Turkish tribes in Anatolia, founded the Ottoman Empire around 1299. The term Ottoman is derived from Osman's name, which was Uthman in Arabic. The Ottoman Turks set up a formal government and expanded their territory under the leadership of Osman I, Orhan, Murad I, and Bayezid I. In 1453, Mehmed II the Conqueror led the Ottoman Turks in seizing the ancient city of Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire's capital. This put an end to a 100-year reign of the Byzantine Empire. Sultan Mehmed then renamed the city Istanbul and made it the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. Istanbul soon became a dominant international center of trade and culture. After the fall of Constantinople, which became the new Ottoman capital, Mehmed launched several military campaigns in both the east and the west. Serbia, Greece, and Bosnia fell under the Sultan's sway. And in the east, Mehmed took Trebizond in 1461. Mehmed also received the allegiance of the Crimean Tatars in 1475, and hence secured the domination of the Black Sea region for 3 centuries to come. In the 14th century, the Devshirme system was created. This required conquered Christians to give up 20% of their male children to the state. The children were forced to convert to Islam and become slaves. Although they served as slaves, some of the converts became powerful and wealthy. Many were trained for government service or the Ottoman military. The elite military group, known as the Janissaries, was primarily made up of forced Christian converts. This system lasted until the end of the 17th century. By 1517, Bayezid's son, Selim I, brought Syria, Arabia, Palestine, and Egypt under Ottoman control. Under his reign, a new policy emerged, which included fratricide, or the murder of brothers. When a new sultan was crowned, his brothers would be imprisoned. When the sultan's first son was born, his brothers and their sons will be killed. This system ensured that the rightful heir would take the throne. But not every sultan followed this harsh ritual. Over time, the practice evolved. In the later years, the brothers would only be put in prison, not killed. The Ottoman Empire reached its peak between 1520 and 1566. During the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent. This period was marked by great power, stability, and wealth. Suleiman created a uniform system of law and welcomed different forms of arts and literature. Many Muslims considered Suleiman a religious leader as well as a political ruler. Ottoman's territory reached its peak on 16th to 17th centuries. The empire controlled vast stretches including Anatolia, southwestern Europe, mainland Greece, the Balkans, parts of northern Iraq, Azerbaijan, Syria, Palestine, parts of the Arabian Peninsula, Egypt, and parts of the North African Strip, in addition to the major Mediterranean islands of Rhodes, Cyprus, and Crete. The Ottomans were known for their achievements in art, science, and medicine. Istanbul and other major cities throughout the empire were recognized as artistic hubs, especially during the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent. Some of the most popular forms of art included calligraphy, painting, poetry, textiles and carpet weaving, ceramics, and music. Ottoman architecture also helped define the culture of the time. Elaborate mosques and public buildings were constructed during this period. Science was regarded as an important field of study. The Ottomans learned and practiced advanced mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, physics, geography, and chemistry. Additionally, some of the greatest advances in medicine were made by the Ottomans. They invented several surgical instruments that are still used today, such as forceps, catheters, scalpels, pincers, and lancets. Starting in the 1600s, the Ottoman Empire began to lose its economic and military dominance to Europe. Around this time, Europe had strengthened rapidly with the Renaissance and the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. Other factors, such as poor leadership and having to compete with trade from the Americas and India, led to the awakening of the empire. In 1683, the Ottoman Turks were defeated at the Battle of Vienna. This loss added to their already waning status. Over the next 100 years, the empire began to lose key regions of land. After a revolt, Greece won their independence from the Ottoman Empire in 1830. In 1878, the Congress of Berlin declared the independence of Romania, Serbia, and Bulgaria. During the Balkan Wars, which took place in 1912 and 1913, the Ottoman Empire lost nearly all their territories in Europe. At the start of World War I, the Ottoman Empire was already in decline. The Ottoman army entered the war in 1914 on the side of the Central Powers, including Germany and Austria-Hungary. As World War I loomed, the Ottoman Empire entered into a secret alliance with Germany. The war that followed was disastrous. More than 2/3 of the Ottoman military became casualties during World War I, and up to 3 million civilians died. They were defeated in October 1918. Following the armistice of Mudros, most Ottoman territories were divided between Britain, France, Greece, and Russia. The Ottoman Empire officially ended in 1922, when the title of Ottoman Sultan was eliminated. Turkey was declared a republic on October 29, 1923. When Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, an army officer, founded the Independent Republic of Turkey. He then served as Turkey's first president from 1923 until his death in 1938, implementing reforms that rapidly secularized and westernized the country. Turkish nationalists, bringing an end to what was once of history's most successful empires. After ruling for more than 600 years, the Ottoman Turks are often remembered for their powerful military, ethnic diversity, artistic ventures, religious tolerance, and architectural marvels. The mighty empire's influence is still very much alive in the present-day Turkish Republic, a modern, mostly secular nation thought of by many scholars as a continuation of the Ottoman Empire.